Hey guys, what's up? On this video, I'm gonna talk about episode 6 of Alien Earth. This is the moment where things get more weird. Well, first we have I think for the first time maybe appearance of the the mid area between a chest burster and an adult alien, which is something we have not seen in other movies because usually the aliens grow so fast that we don't get to see like what happens between the chest burster and the alien. Usually, I think that I always assume it like even in games they just go to like a molting phase. It's just like they just molt into like in a place and then eventually when they come out they're already fully grown. They usually don't like go like through this phase of like slowly growing limbs. So the alien is growing and he's seems to be liking Wendy and they're just communicating and I mean she's like acting like the alien is a pet, which is something that I just find it so weird. And I mean, her brother is worried about this. I mean, I didn't like, Kirsch said at one point, oh, she managed to kill an adult one. Don't remind me of that. Don't remind how she killed an adult alien with a sword. And of course, this is kind of very, very silly. I mean, not just the whole thing about a human communicating with alien like that, but also the fact that she's a kid. I mean, she's a kid that can now maybe possibly gonna be controlling an alien. Like, how can they not think this is silly? One of the other kids is just like going had like some mental problems, let's say, and they decide to wipe out her memory. At first, they didn't want to do it, but then the guy kind of forced them to do it. They just want to do like a reboot because they're like robots, they're like property of their company. So technically, they can do whatever they want. Wendy starts like defending the alien, and she's like thinking that like, oh, it's just her friend, and her brother is like that's like a killing machine. I mean, but she's a kid, and kids sometimes like they don't realize stuff like that. We go through a scene where Wayland Yutani and I mean Yutani, Miss Yutani, I don't remember her first name, but the owner of Yutani and Cavalier go into this trial to discuss like the stuff that he managed to steal from the ship. And in the end, Cavalier ends up winning. Like this is interesting to see like both bad guys like just shitting on each other, try to attack each other because both companies are ruled by assholes. So like there are no good guys here. But Cavalier ends up winning. He kind of makes it seem like they're gonna give the specimens back for the money that she offers. However, it has to end the quarantine, which takes a long while. So by the time that they are gonna be returning the specimens, like is I mean there is gonna be hopeless. Like they can already do whatever they want. I mean it's gonna take too long. Yeah, Moro is there and he's having this hate boner with Kirsch. I guess these two are gonna be fighting. I think Kirsch should win, like overall. I mean Moro, I think he's the worst one of the two. I mean Kirsch is not exactly 100% innocent, but I mean Moro is just like he's like psycho level. So they went to delete the memories, like they did like almost like a reboot on the system of one of these kids here, the ginger one. And eventually like when they realized what happened because she talks about the crash and she doesn't remember about it, they realized that they managed to wipe the adults wiping her memory. And this already like brings like the question for them like, oh, should we trust these people? I mean, if we have these super synthetic bodies and we are just stronger than them, why should we like obey them? And I feel like they're going to be rioting, like the kids are eventually going to be trying to get away from being controlled by the adults here. When this brother goes into like a patrol with some of his old friends, he seems to be getting more along with the Indian kid, which wasn't really liking him much. When he goes back to see the alien and he's like growing a little bit more, he's more looking more and more like adult alien. I mean, this episode probably takes like hours after the last one because of how fast the aliens grow. And now we're gonna be moving towards the most interesting scene, which actually I actually felt bad for this guy. I told you in the last episode that this character, Isaac, was the most one of the most likable ones so far, and he dies. And I thought the Indian kid was gonna be responsible for this at first when I heard about his death, but it was actually the goddamn tentacle alien. Now this thing is fucking evil and smart evil. So he goes to one of the alien species, the one that are like they're like bugs, to feed them. And while he's going there to deliver the food, the goat, the tentacle creature in the goat, pushes like the glass in a way that makes him drop and makes him get trapped inside. And then the bugs come out, and despite him being a synthetic, I mean, a alien, the usual alien xenomorph that we know wouldn't attack a synthetic, or maybe if he was really pissed, like trying to escape. But this thing's just attacking, and he's dead. And it just brings like how, despite them being synthetics and being stronger, like than normal humans, they're still vulnerable. They can still die. They're not like unkillable. And that's gonna be a reality shock for some of the other ones. When they confronts the scientists about wiping the other girl's memory, and they're already like starting to get into some big conflicts between the kids. Like I feel like this is just I actually like the idea. I mean the idea sounds interesting. Like they made those kids, they like brainwash them, make them believe, turn the kids like into super soldiers, whatever. I mean or superheroes almost because of the way that they can do things. And well now they're gonna be like realizing like oh, why should I obey those people? Those people are controlled. Those people are see us as expendable or they see us as property. They don't see us as real human beings. So let's not obey them anymore. And then we're gonna be seeing, and then comes this scene which I dislike the most. Is it's gonna be the one where the Indian kid is gonna betray a guy and try to make him get face again. Kerr seems to know about what is happening. He's watching over, like so he's already suspecting that like what is happening in the situation here, and which makes me think that Kirsch has like a different agenda from what Cavalier has in mind because technically he's aware of a betrayal within this company, which is like a sabotage, but he's not telling Cavalier anything. So interesting. So the Indian kid ends up like making the gonna be trapping the guy inside there and not allowing him to escape. He goes there first to try to look at Isaac's body, but it's already like too late. And then he doesn't get attacked by the other alien creatures. But he gets trapped inside, and the facehuggers get out, and he gets facehugged, and well, it's over. Oh, hold up. I end up like switching there. And then we have like one human facehugged and a dead synthetic. And the story ends with the goat alien just looking creepy at the screen. And also, I need to complain about the weird music that they put at the end of these episodes because they don't fit at all. But well, anyway, I think it was like a okay episode, not the worst one, but not really that good. And the scenes between Wendy and the alien are just weird because I know what's good is gonna lead up to the next episode, which episode 7, which is gonna be so far was the worst one for me.